To comment during the Frankly Speaking show, you first need to open the video that is being streamed live. Look for the chat box on the side or bottom of the video player. This is where you can type your message. Click inside the chat box and use your keyboard to type out what you want to say. You can type words, use emojis, or even ask questions. Once you've typed your message, press the enter key on your keyboard or click the send button.
Good day. Good day. Frankly speaking, we should not allow the Auditor General's report on the UHWI and on RADA to just evaporate, to go out of our consciousness, or be the subject of a yawn and a gossip. Last week, frankly speaking, we had some important insights into corruption. We return to the matter this week. Good day, I'm Frankly McKnight. Our special guests are the Executive Director of National Integrity Action, that independent anti-corruption body, is Dr. Gavin Myers. And for a short while as well, we will also have Dr. Wesley Morris, who was with us last week. Last week, we lost another of our high-profile veteran media personnel, Bob Clark. We will show you that Bob was more than his well-known Sunday program, ran for years on IRFM Memories. Then I'll also tell you more about the assignment regarding the woman with one leg who lost everything in Melissa and still has got very little help. Just to remind you, we welcome your comments and questions. I know that the introduction as to how you do that was so clear a while ago. Josh will possibly go back to it later on. But please write those comments and questions in the space provided on the channel, and we will respond to as many as we can. We remind you to subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends. But let's start by welcoming Dr. Gavin Myers of the NIA and Dr. Wesley Morris, a transformation coach. Dr. Myers, let's start with this general question. What should we expect of the NIA in the corruption fight under your leadership? Dr. Myers, are we losing you already? Dr. Myers? Are we losing him already? All right, I wanted him to start before you, Dr. Morris, because you have a position you articulated to me earlier, and I'd love to really. Dr. Myers, are you hearing, and can you go ahead?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you. Thank you very much for having me. And
Dr. Myers,
it's really,
please go ahead.
hearing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me. It's really good for me to be here and listening to the conversations and actually participating in this conversation about healthcare in Jamaica. It's a right that we have to guard, and more importantly, we have to ensure that persons understand the value of it for us all.
I don't know why we're not hearing you. I don't know why I'm not hearing you clearly. I'm not sure if all the listeners or our panelists are hearing you clearly. Dr. Myers, because it's breaking up.
I'm not
Don't know
sure
why.
what it is.
But
Not
can you go
sure.
again? Can you go again? Just say that again.
No, I was saying it is I'm very happy to be here and I'm thankful to be a part of this conversation
Dr.
because
Myers, I guess what? Guess what? I'm going to go to Dr. Morris and ask Joshua if he can see if he can work it out with you because we're not hearing you clearly.
okay.
Winnie, you can go ahead. You can go ahead with that.
Dr. Morris, did you hear what was said earlier?
I heard Mr. McKnight asked Dr. Gavin what he would bring as the new head of the National
Oh,
Integrity Action.
I'm sorry. I never heard that part.
Okay.
But I could answer that. I think my perspective is as a rural Jamaican. I think my perspective is as a Jamaican who has been a part of activism and been a part of engaging with people at the community level for years. I think my perspective that I bring to NIA is an understanding of the impact that corruption and bre- breaches of integrity has on us as ordinary Jamaicans. And I'd like to continue my activism in such a way that we promote a better Jamaica for us all. So my activism is continuing the mission of the National Integrity Action and to support engagement with community people in such a way that we have a better Jamaica. Because Jamaica is for us all. And anyone who tries to stop us from engaging and enjoying it really and truly is doing something against us. And we as Jamaicans have never been ones to sit down and wait until other people to come and save us. We have been saving ourselves and making Jamaica better for us. My work with the
But you know,
NIA is
Dr.
to
Myers,
continue that.
that all sounds nice, but this corruption issue, and Dr. Myers
Yes,
raised last week as whether we should call it theft in some cases and fraud. This corruption issue
yes,
is a very serious one, and the NIA
it is.
notwithstanding, we have not seemed to be getting anywhere with it.
You know, you raise a very big point, you know. And the question always comes up as to who is it that is benefiting from corruption that is happening. But even more, one thing we're certain about is if we're silent, they will not allow us, they will not stop. So it's important that we make our voices heard. And I can point to you how many times different things because of our voice have been changing. Use an example. We now know the level of procurement that is happening with different things. We understand the things. The Auditor General, it's because she works for us that we know this that is happening. So yes,
When you
it
say
is
works
not
for us,
perfect.
you mean who? When you say she works for us, meaning what?
We the people, the Auditor
Okay.
General doesn't work for anybody except the people. She reports to the Parliament, but she works for us. So when we have these systems that are working, we can know what is happening and having a better oversight. And that is critical because if we see the things that are happening without oversight, it is when we demand accountability and we continue hold feet to fire and hands to the flame, then things can happen.
But I want to bring in Dr. Morris here. Dr. Morris, are we achieving anything in this corruption fight? And is it useful? Is it sensible? Dr. Morris? You're on mute. You're on mute, Dr. Morris. All right, he's not hearing me, I don't think. Yes, so I wanted to ask you, sir, Dr. Myers. I still wanted to ask you, what difference is the NIA making? Because that's one of the institutions we're leaning on, isn't it? What difference? And welcome, Desmond. Desmond is with us, Desmond Richards. What difference is the NIA making? And how will that be now?
The NIA is a civil society organization, an NGO that is made up of citizens, common citizens like you and me, trying to build a new Jamaica that is one that is built on integrity and accountability in the public office. So what we're trying to do is build that cohesive network and partnership for that. So our work is with other civil society actors. Our work is to support in terms of training, providing support to others that they can speak out and we can work together for a better Jamaica. I think one of the biggest things that we have and we have done is to bring more light to this fight against corruption. And that is, I think, a very important thing. Bring light to the fight against corruption in different places. The other thing is to make our voices heard, and even more is to support good citizens like yourself or others in ensuring that they can join this fight. If we do all of that, then we have a better Jamaica. It's an incremental war.
Dr. Morris, are you hearing us now?
I'm hearing everything you said.
Yes, I was just asking you, how do you see the fight against corruption and whether you see it as a useful fight?
Yeah, of course, it's a useful fight. I wouldn't deny that for one moment. I think, though, that, as a transformation coach and as somebody who's worked with organizations to help them out of, a malaise that they're in, I think an essential part of that fight ought to be, what sort of Jamaica are we trying to create, right? And because whenever I go into an organization, that is one of the fundamental things that I try to bring to the fore. It is said that, people without vision perish. It's true not only of nations, but individuals, groups, organizations, that if we don't have a vision that we're working towards, and the vision has to include how we treat each other and how we treat the resources that we're given to steward, right? So, I believe that, of course, the fight is important, but I think there's some other things that's going to take us into the sort of Jamaica that we
So
want.
you wouldn't think that, you are saying that you wouldn't think that corruption fight is a big thing, or should be one of the biggest things in Jamaica right now? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, here's the thing. Corruption was a major issue for the People's National Party going into the last election in September, right? One of the major things. It is. I don't feel there was a lot of traction. They got a lot of benefits from actually having that as their a major issue. It's the same thing in the United States. The Democrats went in about the corruption of Donald Trump, etc. And they didn't win the election based on their campaign around corruption. And I'm not saying that corruption isn't important. It is important. But it seems like there are other things that the voters and that the people are interested in. It's like what sort of Jamaica, what sort of country are we creating? What policies do you have to actually make a difference to our lives? So
Desmond, you want to respond to that, Desmond? I encourage you, Desmond.
Yes.
Desmond, you want to respond to that?
Yes. Dr.
Whether
Morris.
corruption gets enough traction in Jamaica, whether it's even a winnable issue politically and so on.
No, the masses are not paying attention to this issue. That's a fact. You see, I don't think the people fully understand the impact of corruption on their lives, right? And one of the things that you find is that there are too many people who have this eat a food mentality. When you look last week before last, we were on this program talking about the informal economy, and that's 40% of the economy. So what is happening? Hustling. The masses are hustling. They are not paying attention to these critical issues. And too many of them are saying, you know, are supporting this eat a food mentality. And the other thing that the masses are not paying attention to the fact that the corruption it starts at the top of the system. But because the people don't see themselves as those who hire those at the top, they see them as their masters, and therefore they are not paying attention to this issue, which is crippling the affairs of the country.
Dr. Gavin Myers, so
Yes, sir.
how much of that do you agree with, and therefore what is your role now?
No, you know, we completely agree on that, you know. A lot of Jamaicans forget that we are the actual participants, we're the owners, we're the ones who make the change in Jamaica. We forget that our voice doesn't end or begin every 5 years or whenever there is an election. We forget that there are systems in place that demand accountability and that we should demand participation in. But even more, because of the tenuous situation that we have generally in the economic space, there have been several things that people have said, okay, people are eating food, but making a killing isn't good. What we need is people who are willing to make a living, as in for us to work together for a better Jamaica. That's critical. And NIA understands the importance of a solidarity economy, where the parts of the economy work for Jamaica. And if there isn't that, if the economy is working only for some people, if the economy is working or the society is only working for some people, then it's not Jamaica. The Jamaica we know work for all of us.
It looks to me as if your task is unwinnable. You because the economy is not working for it. As Desmond was saying, the broad majority are involved in a little hustling, informal economy. They're not part of the system. They're home. There's so many people without landless, not homeless, sorry, untenured. What is, in other words, where is your focus going to be now? I want people to understand where the NIA will be going from here on.
So let me use one thing that is happening just next week. Next week, the launch, NIA will join the other branches of Transparency internationally to launch the Corruption Perception Index for 2025, right? And using that, we will be able to see and compare how Jamaica's ranking in corruption perception has changed over the years, and then also have a discussion around that with other civil society partners to see what we can work on. We have at this time several things that are important that are happening. The first is, trying to build back after Hurricane Melissa. And out of that, there are several things that, people are talking about that is critical. One, the amount of resources that is going to be spent. We need oversight over that, understanding, both at the local level and at the national level. we have a concept called the NARA, National Reconstruction Authority, that we still don't know how it is that it's going to happen. But we know it's important and we follow up from morning. We have these Auditor General reports on RADA, as you put up, on the UHWI that is there, and several others that are there that have raised several questions about just what it is that is happening in our I was just about to say our party shop, but it's not a party shop. What is happening in our Jamaica? These questions are critical, but I think NIA is not just about asking questions, it's about ensuring that we, the people, can build up a relationship, build up collaborative pressure that different people are asking the question. And with more of us asking the question, we can get better answers as to what is happening, what exactly is happening, and how things can change. That is what my work is.
On the Auditor General, sort of Dr. Myers, I want to come and start with starting
We're
with
not here.
UHWI.
I'm
But
not
I wanted
hearing
to ask
Mr.
Winnie
McKnight.
to respond as Desmond had asked Desmond as to her feeling about how the people generally feel about corruption, the people of Jamaica generally.
Well, the people of Jamaica are very comfortable with corruption. They
Very comfortable.
Yes, and our sayings encapsulate the feeling. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes. Thief. Yes, we have a saying, thief from thief, God laugh. So people are comfortable with it. When people steal, people say, me wouldn't go to prison for that. I stood in a line and I heard grown men sharing on voting day, sharing what they would do with scamming money. And those who are caught are foolish because they should go and buy goats and appear ragged so that they're not caught. Jamaicans are very comfortable with corruption. It's not because they're just eating a food. It's a belief system. And without paying attention to the belief system, we get nowhere. It just becomes a talk shop. And the truth is, the only purpose we serve in this country, the persons who are not going to garden house, the only purpose is to elect the people to go there. And that is a belief as well, that it benefits them. It doesn't benefit us. So whatever we can get, leave them.
Wow. Winnie, those comments nail us against the wall, man. It sounds as if Dr. Myers, before you leave us, I'd love you to respond to that and your concept again of the vision that you raised. Winnie's blistering comments there that suggest that we're really in the trough, all of us.
Okay, so I didn't hear what she said because the sound went. But from the little that I heard, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, that the vast majority of people feel alienated from the system of governance, right? Which includes some of us
and feeling comfortable with corruption.
And I think that it's not something that they feel. I wouldn't say that they're comfortable with it. It's that it's not something that's, like school fees, medical expenses, whether they have a job or not, those are central to their consideration, right? The sort of conversation that we're having about corruption and its impact and how we need to get rid of it. It's like, I need to find bus fares to send my children to school tomorrow, or I need to find lunch money, or I need to pay the rent or whatever, right? And the thing is, if we don't have an economy that actually includes some of the 40%, or if not all of the 40% that is in the informal economy, if between elections the government isn't looking after the interests of the people, then when an election comes, then the people are likely to say, if I can get 5,000 or 20,000, for my vote, I'll take it. So that's one thing. So I think that those sort of things, the sort of not now go on. And when I first came back to Jamaica 24 years ago, I used to be very, very wary of somebody saying, not now, go on. I'm a transformation coach and I feel that I can make things happen for people. And, when they say, not now, go on, I'm like, no. But after a while, when I see the smallness of the economy, the growth that it's done over small growth, the fact that it's not expanding, it's like for a lot of people, not now, go on. And under conditions like that, and I'm not justifying it, you will get people doing, desperate people will do desperate things.
Thank you, Dr. Myers. That's Dr. Wesley Morris, a transformation coach. He worked all over the place, and we're glad and thankful for his insights. Really, thank you very much. I want to go back to Dr. Myers at NIA. Dr. Myers, so we have the latest report from the Auditor General, and I'd love for you to now tell us, Dr. Myers, what do you think should happen now, given what we learned, for example, in UHWI to begin with? Starting with that. UHWI.
For me, the first thing I'd like to look at is for us to connect it to us as humans, as persons with ailments, as persons who are who use the healthcare system. I want us to think that whether you are in Hanover or you're anywhere in St. Mary, you are still a part of this healthcare system. And what happens with one of the three major type A hospitals impact on us all. I want us to continue that thought. But even more than that, I want us to think about the fact that there were people who are at the apex of the system who showed, in this case, scant disregard for our money and our resources, our time. It's that is first, though. The other thing that is also very important for me is to make this point that everything that the Auditor General spoke of is speaking from a sample, not all, a sample of the procurement that happened over a period of time. So can you just imagine if things are so bad with a sample and extrapolate that for the entire period, how bad it is? And that's just looking back. Looking forward, the question is now, what are some of the systems that are there? And what are the systems that we want to ask?
Hold on a second there from the Dr. Myers. I want to raise the issue that the Auditor General did. Right?
Yes.
And because we can't just go forward and examine with a committee or exam. We have some things there that you can touch and feel and that you can take action on.
Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
The Auditor General, one of the things that we mentioned last week when Ms. Jeanette Calder was here, we mentioned it specifically. There are 6 instances in which the University Hospital of the West Indies utilized its tax exemption status to facilitate the importation of goods belonging to 4 private companies.
And in some cases,
so it imported goods on behalf of A, B, C, and D, 4 companies. And
yes.
And so those companies got around the tax. And in one particular case, to do with waste bins, having imported the things without and freeing up the company from paying $3 million, the University Hospital of the West Indies management went back and bought the things that it had imported without tax for a sum that would include the tax and include a profit.
And no, you want to add to that one?
That's what the Auditor General. Nobody is claiming that did not happen. So
yes.
What happens now in your view? What should happen now in your view?
So
Yes,
for me,
NIA.
I'm very bad at tax understandings, but the little I know is that the taxman, whatever they are, when they can fine you, they can levy severe penalties on you, and persons can go to jail. That's what the little I know. And from I heard about that,
But
I've
is
all
NIA
I've always
calling
been
for that?
clear.
Is NIA calling for more action in that
NIA,
regard?
yes, NIA is calling that all persons who are involved in any form of malfeasance, any form of dereliction of duty, any form of removal from our pockets, because that's what it is. Any form of removal from our pockets, that they be met with the full force of the law. It is critical that we understand that our resources should be used for for our purposes only. Is that for friend and company? The other point that we
And
at
what about the
NIA want
board?
to,
Because it's not just that one. I mean, it's several companies that benefited, and I mentioned that. But what about the board and the fact that over 4 or 5 years, the documentations, the reporting that was required by the hospital
you know,
was not there. The procurement processes when they were not following them in many cases. What
you
happens to
know,
the board, and what happens to the minister who appointed that there?
it is critical that we understand that there are systems in place already that speak to what should happen. It is critical that we understand that these things we have been trying for a
And
while
we don't
now.
understand. Let's say we don't understand. Let's say all of us are busy running up and down trying to survive.
No,
But just
no, 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 no. It is critical that we understand that the rules supporting how boards are appointed, how boards are governed, how our resources are dealt with, that there are rules in place. And when people breach those rules, it's not a simple thing. In other cases and hearers who they hear about short pants days, I know that the rules are there to protect us. So if the rules are there to protect us, we are demanding that the people who are in place be met with the full force of the laws.
so the board. So again, I'm asking you, what should
But
happen to the board of the University Hospital of the West Indies?
the board of the University Hospital has a fiduciary duty, and the different arms of it, they report to the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Health through its systems also report to Parliament. And I'm saying to you that all of that should be met. I would like to say, first and foremost, that I have the utmost confidence that the persons who have been appointed to look through this, the board, the committee, I have the
A
utmost
committee that
confidence in them.
Dr. Tufton set up.
I have the utmost confidence in the people who are on that committee
But we're not
as
going.
people.
I'm going to leave. I'm going to allow my other panelists to come in. I'm not going there. I'm not talking about the people who have
No,
been appointed by Dr. Tufton. I'm talking about what should happen to the board of the University Hospital of the West Indies at
so the
over 6
universal.
years. It's and they're different people, as a matter of fact, different boards. But over 6 years, they paid scant regard to procurement policies.
Yeah,
The
man,
members of the
something
executive who know that.
wrong, something very wrong, and in a modern
But we
democracy,
know
you're right.
already, sir. That's what the Auditor General. I'm just asking, what has the NIA? Did you put out a release? I don't remember. I missed it.
No, NIA did not put out a
You
release.
were, you were in
What
transition to, I suspect.
we are in transition. The day after my appointment, literally, this came up. So what we've been trying to do has been to respond in different ways through interviews, through commentary, and the call has been similar. That all persons who have been in any way party to this should be met with the full force of the laws, and that the
No, no,
right
no,
thing.
Dr. Myers, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to give you a chance to, to come back to it. And my colleagues,
Okay.
Winnie has some comments on there. Good afternoon, Ruby. But Winnie has some comments that have been coming in, so she'd love to jump in on that. Go ahead, Winnie.
Okay.
Go ahead, Winnie. Winnie, are you seeing or you want me to read? Go ahead, Winnie. All right, Winnie, possibly not getting them. In any modern, there's something coming from Ray Moses. Winnie, in time you're seeing them, just go ahead.
Oh, I'm seeing them. Is that you
Go
were
ahead.
not hearing me? I was reading.
Go ahead, Winnie. Go ahead.
Ray Moses, in any modern democracy, a health minister with 10 years of failure, continued incompetence. This is running across. Take it, Frank.
The 10 years of failure would be removed. I think did that come up?
Yes, incompetence is not experience. It's disqualification. Corruption, cronyism, and nepotism. I could use AI. Is that? Yeah. When they're found guilty, their assets should be seized, I believe, and sent to prison. The assets, I believe the person should be. Keith P., I think that's the essence what the person wants to say. Yes, we did that one already in any modern democracy. Yes, we did that one already. The entire board, Ray Moses again, the entire board of the University Hospital of the West Indies should be charged. Institutional failure at this scale is not an accident, it's negligence. I would love to comment on that first before I say anything else. We liked the scapegoat business. The heads must roll. So people usually want to see somebody out there being the sacrificial lamb. So that's my comment on that for the board. And this one went, I read this one already, the entire board. Jamaicans are very comfortable with corruption, evidenced by the fact that the government was not punished in the last election with a number of my screen, allegations of same in the last elections. And I will just add that it's not just that. When you hear about scamming and people are happy, the chopping business, you know that it is just things that people are happy with. They don't mind.
Yeah.
So
can I just
thanks for the comments, and keep those comments coming, and we will try to pick on them as much as we possibly can. Desmond, if you
can I just
no comment, I want to go to Mr. Myers again. So Myers, the board of the University Hospital of the West Indies. I'm sure NIA has met on this since this matter broke. You came in the office one day after. But what should be the position with regard to the board and the minister?
And this is very important you raise it. So in 2023, there was a change in the board under circumstances that speaks to that the minister himself also has to speak about. So this board says that they were new, whatever it is, but a lot of the things that are happening there also happened under their watch too.
Yes, under the previous board as well. Yes.
Under the previous board and under this board, but they have also indicated that they have started a process that is there for to speak about these things and the changes. And the minister has offered that some of the challenges that are there has to do with the peculiar nature of the Universal Hospital of West Indies. But the major point that should be raised is that the Auditor General was looking at how it is that the Universal Hospital of the West Indies, as a part of the Jamaican healthcare system, dealt with things that were under our remit. So I want to be clear that we as Jamaicans have a right to know what is happening and demand the full force from them.
You are the spearhead, sir. You are the spearhead at NIA. Your mission, your work is every day to be looking at those corruption issues. The average man, the farmer, the teacher, the attorney, they are not focused on what is going on with these institutions. You are supposed to be focused on it. You are supposed to be reading those reports.
But Franklin,
Attorney General. So that's why we're asking you, comment Desmond, that's why we're asking you, what is the position of your grouping? Because this board, as far as I'm concerned, no, the board should not be around there anymore. that board is board that is sitting now, because the other one also is implicated. And the minister must take responsibility. It can't be just a community of you, say, of nice people, of fantastic people. You can't cover the tracks with that. Desmond, sorry, you go ahead, Desmond.
We can't.
But Franklin,
Yeah.
one of the things that NIA as an organization can only make recommendations, you know. NIA
Yes.
can't punish the officials or these ministers. What we want, Franklin, and we would like NIA to play a role in this, is that we want to get more of our citizens to be involved.
Mhm.
We are the ones who can demand the minister to take action against the board on our behalf. Remember, you know,
And-
it's the public. We are talking about public funds. Those funds that we are talking about is not private funds. So what is lacking is that
Desmond, I don't know how long
more
we're going to
of
wait for those more Jamaicans to come in, as what's her name said last week, to become involved, to talk to their parliament. When we're going to get around there? Every day that
Yes, but-
process is building, we
but
have
Franklin,
issues
Franklin,
of
you what is
corruption
going on?
widespread in this country.
What happened? Institutions like NIA, I would like to see them getting involved in mobilizing public support behind their work, right?
Yes.
And more public organizations should get involved in mobilizing the people, because Franklin, let's face it, what we are talking about here is not new, you know. Is not new. The Auditor General report into corruption is something that has been going along for decades.
Absolutely.
And I am saying to you that those who are supposed to take the action are the ones who are elected, and they are not. And therefore, we the people will have to become more active if we want to see some change, some meaningful changes in these activities.
All right, sir. I don't know when that is going to happen, but Mr. Myers, we're going to give you the last word before you go, Dr. Myers. One of the audits I'm really looking forward to. It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen this year. Might happen by next year. Is what happened at Cornwall Regional Regional Hospital, and the Auditor General should have that at the top of our pile, where $22 billion has been spent, where we first heard of $2 billion and counting. $22 billion. But we're going to come around there. I'm sure we're going to get there. And
I am very certain.
I don't know, I forgot last week to say, congratulations, Pamela Monroe Ellis. What a woman of strength and character, and who keeps doing the job for Jamaica.
Yes.
Mr. Myers, your final comment, sir, and if you want to make a comment on RADA.
My final comment on this was just around the fact that Desmond is very right. We have to get the citizens to stand up, and it's our job and duty and work to do that. And the other thing is to call for changes to happen. And I've been very clear that this is not some people who are friend and company. This is very something that is our all. We have to all become involved, and that all the persons who are duty bound and who bear responsibility should be held to account. That is my point of view, and that is NIA's point of view. There are so many different laws that have been broken, and the Auditor General also has several recommendations that she offered that I would just ask all of us to take a read of and to see if these are things we can ask our members of parliament to speak to, our councillors, all of them, to write a letter to the parliament, write a letter to the Integrity Commission, write a letter all over for us to get more. And yes, it might sound simple, but
I'm disappointed, Dr. Myers. I'm disappointed in you on the position that you have taken and Desmond has taken on Jeanette Calder last week. Because it ain't going to happen now. It might happen by what, 2050? All right, by 2050. That should happen. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Going to just read one comment as you go, or is gone already. As far as I'm concerned, the NIA is compromised.
Well,
as far as I'm concerned, NIA is compromised and silenced by the government. That's what Ray Moses said.
Well, tell Ray Moses that A, that NIA is not government, and B, we have never been silent. Jamaica is not a place that is silent, that we have always been saying the same thing, that we need integrity in the public office and we need a better Jamaica, and the only way that can happen is when we get involved. So tell Ray Moses and that we are all waiting for him and others to stand with us. Interrupt our wait, we'll call him out.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now, that's Dr. Myers, Gavin Myers, and we thank him very much.
As he goes, Franklin, as he goes, this comment by Keith, Jamaican people have no one to defend them on corruption. They are left to the ravenous wolves. We may be in the top 2. I don't know if 10. Top 10.
We're not in the top 10, but we are in the middle levels, and they're going to announce where we are again. Thanks, Winnie, for dropping in that. Walter Charles Clark, Bob Clark, died last week, Tuesday morning in St. Mary. On Sunday afternoon he did his show on Rhythm Radio Station. 4 years plus ago, he had left his slot at IRFM, the station he co-founded and which had changed radio in Jamaica. It's not a pretty story, and it has not been told yet. On Desmond's Rebel Radio, that's his internet radio station, Rebel Radio, last Thursday, Clyde Mackenzie, one of the earliest managers and doers at IRI FM, set out a little piece of that history that involved Bob Clark. Now, Joshua has put a bit of it together. I hope it's ready for us to run. Joshua, we'd love to run that little piece with Clyde Mackenzie. Speaking about who Bob Clark really is.
The license became available. Once, the government had said they were divesting these stations. Bob was gung-ho on our, because I was with JBC. Bob was there too. And so he was thinking that, he doesn't want to give up on radio, right? So his thing was, we need to get an investor in this thing. And so he knew Carl, and he thought that it would be a good idea to introduce Carl to it. So we had thoughts about having a station. What we didn't have was an investor. That's how Carl came in. Yeah. So when Carl asked him who is going to run it, he had in his mind, he was clear in his mind who we thought would be able to do a good job. But Carl, looking at the situation, would not thought so, because I didn't represent the kind of image that would inspire confidence to Carl. But
you guys didn't deal with. I'm sorry, but I have to ask you, because I tried to get him yesterday, and Clyde is so fundamental to the story. You guys didn't deal with that ownership issue, though, Clyde. That ownership issue which remains. Yes, and that's a vexing issue. And now that you have raised it, Franco, I think I'd want to talk about it a little bit. What is perhaps most painful is that to date that issue has not been settled, because there was an understanding. Remember, there was a lot of groundwork that was done that was basically sweat equity, right? Yes. Everything was done
before, I mean, there was a long period where nobody was being paid anything. People were just giving of their labor and their ideas to the effort. And the understanding with Carl was that Bob and I would have been given our equity. And we had that, and it was a gentleman's agreement. You know? But that went awry. I mean, for a number of reasons, which I'm not going to at this point. But I mean, the fact is that Bob, who is responsible for the creation of arguably the most successful electronic media entity in the Caribbean and this region, has passed on and has not derived the benefits of his contribution to a multi-billion-dollar operation. And that to me is very, very sad.
Yes.
Very sad.
Yes. Well, as it
Leave it
stands
at
now,
that.
Clyde, you know, and
That's what, I mean, you raise it, Franco, and
All right. Thank you so much. That was Clyde Mackenzie. He's a media consultant. He's a producer. Clyde is all sorts of things, and he was manager at IRIA on stage in the very early stages. And Carl, he kept mentioning there was Carl Young, whose contribution to IRIA cannot be overstated. It really can't be. But we remember Bob Clark, and he's gone on, and that story, we're sure, will be taken, told at some time. Right, now, to music of a different kind. 2 weeks ago, we played your piece of music about which Winnie will tell you more as she tells you that AI is waiting to do your bidding. So over to you, Winnie, on the music that you all created. I don't know who was the copyright, or Frankly Speaking. Over to you, Winnie.
This is from, yes. Can you hear me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
I'm saying that years ago, it seems now 2023, that was the first time that we spoke about AI on this program. That was shortly after ChatGPT was released to the general public. Now, so many things have happened. You have thousands of apps out there, but Suno, that's the music platform where anyone can go and create whatever song you want. That is free. You have a free account and you have the pro account. So with Joshua, we created 2 songs for the listeners and viewers of the Frankly Speaking podcast. So you did not get the chance to choose which one you like. So at this point, Joshua will play the song and you will give us your feedback. Take it away, Joshua. Okay, while we wait
And I understand
hear
you to say, we're going to just hear one song that we heard prior.
Yes, because you don't have time for 2. Yes.
Okay.
The lights go up, the mics are lit. We're feeling
that
the
glitch
blood is
there.
thickening.
Pity there's that.
You're the reason for every battle we fought. Oh, to our silence, the ones who stay, and our viewers watching from miles away. If you live in the chat.
So AI has scratch records to Winnie.
No, it's not AI. It's whatever is happening here.
Frankly speaking, scene. We see you, we hear you, we appreciate the love. You're the spark we're always thinking of.
It's whatever is happening there. I don't know.
So we're not getting seamless listening at all.
The lights
Yes,
go
we
up,
did.
Where did the lyrics come from? Just we have to cut it because it's disturbing.
Okay.
It's not what
What
we
what
really
what
want.
happens? What happens is that, or what happened is that I created the prompt, and the AI created the song from the prompt that was created. So
When you
there
say you
was a
created the
there was a
prompt, help
video
us with that. When you
that
say
was
you created
shared
the prompt,
as to how
when
it
you
was
say you
all
created the
done.
prompt,
That very
okay.
okay. We told the bot what we wanted, and I want to say that anyone can do that. Go to suno.ai and sign up for a free account and create anything you want. Just say what you would like. I'd like a song dedicated to my wife Margaret. She's beautiful, she's kind, she's caring, she's loving. And what's the AI in seconds, the song will be created for you. So music AI, we can examine that and see what is happening to the music world. We look at many other areas where artificial intelligence is at work, but when we focus on what is happening with music, those of us who love music, we're in our element. Like yours truly, I write songs, I sing. So I love Suno AI. That's not the only musical platform, but that's the one that is most popular, and it's free to join. You don't need a pro account to go and create your song. Yes.
Franklin, what we must do as journalists, we want to know what I would like you to do. We want to know how we can use AI to improve journalism. That is what I would like you to focus on.
Okay. Okay, that's very interesting.
Winnie will be able to handle that for next week, Desmond. She'll give you a little piece for next week.
Yes, I can tell you exactly what you need to do. You can do it tonight, Desmond. I'll tell you which chatbot to go to and ask the question,
because we're running out of
and you
time.
get the answer. Yes, okay.
We're running out of time.
We talk on WhatsApp about it.
Finally,
Yes.
just to say, I've made contact with the Office of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security in Hanover. You may remember I was to get in touch because we last week used the voice of a weeping 62-year-old woman who has lost everything in Melissa, including the house in which she lived. She told me that she had got no help except some food that's on stage. Now, I don't have the time on this program today to do justice to the results of my investigation. I have been in contact with the Social Security Ministry in Hanover, as I say, and I promise you, God willing, I'll get there next week. That's our show for this week. Special thanks to guest NIA Director Dr. Gavin Myers and to Transformation Coach Dr. Wesley Morris. Thanks as ever to Desmond Richards, Winnie Anderson Brown, and producer and graphic artist Joshua Black of Joshua Black Media Services. Joshua Black has said that the full song is also available. And we're sorry that we were unable to give you it without scratch this week. We're really sorry about that. Remember, you can watch the program at your convenience. And you can watch that clip with Bob Clark on Desmond Richards' Rebel Radio and YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. On behalf of all of us, I'm Franklin McKnight. Until then.